you need to change the way you're thinking about this right here. The Ranger in Illuvium can change the way you play, but more importantly, I found out some new details about using the Ranger in Illuvium in PvP that is going to dynamically change the way you think about them, okay? Because don't forget, some of your slots in your team builder can be armor and weapon slots to equip to your Ranger. Now, normally in the survival mode, we're used to the Ranger not doing a whole lot, but there's a few key mechanics that I think are going to make the Ranger the most important component of PvP that I'm going to get into right now. The first thing is, let's watch this really quick video of the Ranger in action in survival mode and take note of a few things. Firstly, it's got an Earth Gauntlet tier 3. It's also granting the bonding activation and everything, which is great, but the gauntlet, let's focus on that. So hopefully it'll skip forward in just a second. There we go. So you can see that she's matching stroke for stroke with Hetty. The gauntlet is only a 30 mastery cost, I believe, and Hetty is obviously a 40 mastery cost. So she's taking him on with no problem. Not only that, but you can see the amount the gauntlet actually chunks with the Omega. It's gone down from, on the Singe at the back, the Seer at the back, sorry. You can see just how much it's chunking. It's doing about a quarter of its health with one shot, and he can get off 2 or 3 shots in a game pretty easily, depending on how involved it is. But even while not attacking Hetty, it is taking on, and it's not losing. It would have won that fight once it got that last Omega off. So the Ranger is nothing to snuff at. It is a really key component of your game when you are playing. But here are some more details you might not have known. Firstly, the Ranger is free to move on the board. If you haven't heard yet, all the other alluvials on the board will have a cost to move. We're not sure exactly what that is, and obviously it's subject to change, but something like, how do I put this? Something like, if you have a Ramfire and it costs 100, you can move it and it might cost you 10% of its total cost. So it might cost you 10 mastery points to move it somewhere else on the board. Arlen does not have that. And from what I've seen in PvP, there's a lot of instances where you've placed like all of your scions in one area, and then all your opponent needs to do is to chuck a rogue at the back of their board to attack them. Now you have two options. You can either move all your scions and pretty much lose all of your mastery points. You can sell some of them and try and reshuffle, but you're going to lose mastery points from selling as well. Or you can try and place a bulwark at the back, but then what if he also has some strong pieces at the front? You might be getting caught behind. Or what you can do is you can swap out the armor and weapon of Arlen for free, your Ranger, sorry, for free, move your Ranger for free, and basically use your Ranger as an immediate pivot into whatever you need to support you into the next round. The Ranger is probably the most key piece of this entire puzzle. You saw how much damage it can do. You know, with a shield, it can do a lot of stuns. It can protect itself. But also, I saw some of the suits, and they grant some really interesting things. In this game currently, in survival mode, the suits just give them armor and resistance and some max health. But in PvP, suits can grant things like Omega power, crit chance, crit amp. They can really go hand in hand with not just your weapon, but your overall playstyle. And then there's the bonding mechanic. Basically, through bonding, you can make your Ranger whatever affinity or composite affinity you want with careful preparation in your deck. Now, it is worth mentioning that to rebond your Ranger, you'll still need to sell the Alluvial, which is not ideal. So that's a much harder to do. But for everything else, your Ranger is there to support that. And you're going to have to use it carefully if you want to beat me in PvP.